afternoon. Welcome back. It's a great pleasure to welcome all of you to the next session of this symposium. It's titled Centering Kinships, Poetic and Embodied Knowledges in Contemporary Life. My name is Chaitanya Sambrani, and I am just going to intervene very briefly to welcome Professor Brian Martin, who is a Banjalang, Kamalroy and Morwari man, and a leading Indigenous creative performer and academic. Professor Brian Martin is going to make introductory remarks, prefacing presentations by Mr. Srinivas Gamango and Deeptimayee Patro. Professor Martin, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to speak in Lilroy, which is my mother tongue. Can everyone hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. So, Yamanende, Yang Yama Garagi, Nga Gara Dima, Anjara, Dungan, Yagaga, Karama. I said, hello everyone, I pay my respects to the land of Dilma, Manjara country, and send that respects to the people and ancestors. Bungi Muna, Brian Martin, Nigga Dilwang, Banjan Dungan, Bayam Dunjo, Yende, Dilroy Dungan, Murwari Dungan. My name is Brian Martin, I pay my respects to the great ancestors of Dilroy, Banjan country, Bayam, great ancestors of Dilroy and Murwari country. I just wanted to hand over to Srinivas and Deeptimayee to introduce themselves, and then I'll talk a little bit about the project and get back to them.
Brian, just so you know, they're just coming up onto the stage now.
Thank you.
संध्या समय रे आपण मानक समस्त को नमस्कार.
Greetings everyone.
मो ओडिसा रो गजपति जिला सेंचुरियन यूनिवर्सिटी पारला कमेंट रो आछि.
So Mr. Srinivas Gamango is a Langia Sora elder, and he is a tribal village in charge from Centurion University of Technology and Management.
सेटे गोटे मते सारा इंडिया रो जते लोक आछुंदी इमिति गोटे केवल गोटे यूनिवर्सिटी अछि से जा कि जो यूनिवर्सिटी रे गोटे ट्राइबल म्यूजियम भी अछि.
So he introduced a tribal museum in Centurion University of Technology and Management. Whenever any guest comes, they come and visit. The first place is to visit him in tribal village, and he showcases his Langia Soda Museum and all the artifacts he has collected and have been practicing for 40 years.
एई जगारू अनेक लोक माने देश विदेश रो गवेषणा करबा पय आसंती एवं जो माने सौरा भाषा और संस्कृति उपरे आ पीएचडी करबा पय चाकरते से माने भी गाइड करले से माने डॉक्टरेट हे जायंती.
People all over the world come to him because he is the Langia Soda cultural holder, like a knowledge holder, and at the same time he has been researching on Langia Soda for 40 years. So people come to him and collect knowledge from him and pursuing PhDs. He has created many PhDs I think how many? What are PhDs? 3 PhDs so far. Yes.
मु इमिति गोटे सौरा कम्युनिटी रो जेति की बाजा जिनिस अछि, जेति की गीत अछि, जेति की डग डमाळे गल्प सबु मु कहि पारे, मु बजाई पारे, सबु मु करि पारे.
So he is some multi-talented, I can say. He can write, sing. He is a musician and a lyricist and indigenous cultural knowledge holder of Langia Soda community.
एतिपाई बोली 2013 रे मल्टी टैलेंटेड अवार्ड ओडिशा गवर्नमेंट पाइली आउ 2023 रे आउ नवरत्न पुरस्कार पाइली
That's too long. I think you have to talk to Indian medium. Sorry.
जो मल्टी टैलेंट अवार्ड 2013 में मेरे को मिला उड़ीसा गवर्नमेंट से, फिर 2023 में नवरत्न अवार्ड मेरे को मिला उड़ीसा गवर्नमेंट से। पंचायत लेवल, ब्लॉक लेवल, डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल ज़्यादा भी अवार्ड मेरे को मिला। ये आओ जी मोर परिचय।
That's all about him. And anything else?
पुणी एबे ऑस्ट्रेलिया मोनासी यूनिवर्सिटी एवं ओडिशार से सेंचुरियन यूनिवर्सिटी पाला केमिंद्र मिलित उद्यम रे गोटे आरातुलु प्रोजेक्ट रे भी मु काम करूची।
So he just mentioned about the Arathulu project, which will be elaborated by Professor Brian Martin soon. So I'm not discussing that about. And,
पुणी ए प्रोजेक्ट विषय रे मो कहवा बदल रे प्रोजेक्ट कोऑर्डिनेटर अछंती, हमर प्रोजेक्ट डायरेक्टर ब्रायन मार्टिन अछंती, से माने ए विषय रे कहला आउरी भलो रहबो।
So as I mentioned, Professor Brian Martin will discuss about the introduction of our project. And for now, I'm introducing myself. I am Ms. Deeptimayee Patro, and I am the project coordinator and the choreographer for Aradulu Tree Project, India, Australia. And now I request Professor Brian Martin to do the introduction of our project. Thank you.
Thank you, Udayan and Srinivas. Just to give you a bit of background, the Aradulu project comes from the two words Ara, which is Lanja Sora, the tree, and Bulu, the Gilmarine word for tree. There's a Maitri cultural partnership grant through the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade in Australia. And as I said before, it's a partnership between Sora, Gilmarine, Banjalan, Unurang, and Bangali peoples. It's supported by Woolwich Indigenous Research Lab and Monash University and Centurion University of Technology and Management. As the project is led by myself and Srinivas Gamango, and of course the project coordinator and key dance choreographer is Deeptimayee Patro. Our team also includes lead Professor Caroline Briggs, who's Pini Punarong Elder, and also Bradley Beck, who's a Banjalan Bangali practitioner. The purpose of Aradulu is to build a deeper understanding of the relationship that Indigenous people in Australia, in India, have to trees, space and country. Through a program of workshops and site visits in Victoria, Australia and Odisha in India, we have facilitated cultural and artistic exchanges and the collaborative development of artworks in drawing, painting, printmaking and other media, and an innovative cross-cultural dance performance led by Deeptimayee and Jiri dancers and Wurundjeri peoples of Melbourne. And it culminates in the exhibition next year in March. If we go at slide 2, I'm just going to quickly talk about my practice and then hand back over to Dipti and Srinivas. And this is what culminated in the project, but just to give you a bit of background with the practice, these are large composite charcoal drawings of country. And this is an exhibition at William Warren Galleries. Next slide, please. And these drawings are specifically cultural modified trees from Gilmarine Country, New South Wales. These trees show the various uses that we and other Indigenous nations in Australia have for dulu, for trees. Apart from using trees for ceremony, we use the bark to make coolers, which are bowls, shields, and canoes, and to construct shelter. Next slide, please. In 2023, I shifted my practice to recreate drawings in digital form and painted designs that are specific to Gilmarine people. These designs are created from the various shields that are held in museums around Australia and in Europe. Next slide, please. And next slide, please. Can I have the next slide, please? plus a view of a series of work called Bula Dara Bulletin, which means scenes of the bark of a tree and shield. I'll hand over to Srinivas and Deeptimayee now to talk about his practice, and then Deepti will talk about the rest of the project. Thank you. And Srinivas is going to be very quick. Thank you.
आमर सौरा कम्युनिटी रे कौन सी देवी देवता नहीं निजर पितृपुरुष मानकर प्रेतात्मा को निजर इष्ट देवता बोली मानु जेते बेले जर मुंड बता होता कि जेकोसी पर्वपर्वाणी पालन कले एमती पितृपुरुष मानकर आकृति निर्माण ये कांतरे जो चाउलर राइस पाउडर लेके जो राइस पाउडर में जो ऐसे गेरुआ माटी में जो पेंट करके ऐसे आर्ट बनता है, उसके बाद उसको हम पूजा पाठ करते हैं। सारा विश्व में कोई हमारा देव देवता नहीं, इसलिए जो कोई बीमार होने के बाद कि फेस्टिवल ये सेलिब्रेशन करने का समय में ऐसे हम पूजा पाठ करते हैं।
So the Lanjasura art, you can see this is called Edital. Edital means wall painting, and they do not have any kind of deities. So they, for them, their ancestral spirit is what they pray as a god. So this is some of his practice, and you can see it's written everything. It is a completely theme-based. Thank you.
एडा देखि पारुचंती एडा जगन्नाथ संस्कृति आरंभ अन्य माने जगन्नाथ जगतर नाथ बोली पूजा करती किंतु सौरा माने ये हमर पितृपुरुषंकर प्रेतात्मा बोली पूजा करती।
So every Indian and non-Indian present here, everyone knows about the Jagannath culture. So that's the origin of the story of Jagannath culture is from Lanjasura.
सेटा होची एकतार बळ।
That's clear. Thank you. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, next slide, please. This is the Tribal Museum in Centurion University. Yes. Yep. Next slide. Thank you. So these are some of his practices. He has done not on the walls but on the fabrics. Next slide, please. Yes. So now I will go through all the slides, how our project started and how we are up to now today. And you can see here Professor Martin is taking picture of a tree with Simanchal Patro. Simanchal Patro is my dad, anyway. Okay, so initially we started this project Ara Dulu, yeah, Ara and Dulu, that translates to tree. So it's all started with the tree. The plan was to Professor Brian Martin taking pictures from different trees which are like a sacred trees and significant trees of Lanjasura. Yeah, you can see Lanjasura Ara and that's the Gamilaroi Tulu. And from the Gamilaroi Tulu you can see there is a big scar. That's what we are going to talk later about. Yes, thank you. These are Lanjasura trees Brian has already drawn, and the whole idea of our Arathulu project was to create like 10 drawings by Professor Brian Martin and paintings by Srinivas Gamango on the top of it. So you can see here 2 Lanjasura trees already drawn, and yeah, Professor Brian Martin is under process. So the whole, you can see here, the first one, there is a tree and there is a overlaid painting by Srinivas Gamango. This is what we are going to do. So Professor Brian Martin will draw 5 Gamilaroi trees and 5 Lanjasura trees, and Srinivas Gamango will paint Lanjasura patterns on Gamilaroi trees, and Professor Brian Martin will paint Gamilaroi patterns on Lanjasura trees. It is what we call cross-cultural and interconnectedness. Yeah. Sure. So that's the second drawing. It is just a practice, and the theme is cultivation. And you can see the next one. That's the Gamilero tree, and the seal design was by Professor Brian Matthew. So, Bailapadara, that is the place of Mr. Srinivas Gamango. As a part of our project, was not only limited to just drawing and painting, bringing all together, but it is also a practice. We all wanted to exchange our knowledge to each other. So we conducted one workshop in early this year in January in Bailapadara. You can see the tree, and we are trying to remove the bark of a tree, but a section of a tree, not the whole bark. As you know, if you remove bark from all around, then the tree gonna die because of it won't get enough nutrients. That's why just a section of tree has been cut as demonstrated there. Yes. And the whole idea is about when you use the millennial old indigenous techniques to make a canoe. So this bark was removed to make a canoe, and they use some techniques that help the tree survive after removal of a bark too. So this is what is demonstrated. The whole idea is about when you use the techniques, the bark automatically pops off. It makes a noise too. Yeah. So this is the same process. And in the last diagram, you see it looks red. The bark has been removed here, and that looks red. What we did, actually not we, but the 65,000 years old and more than that, I think old indigenous Australians do. They collect the dirt and mud from the base of the tree and just rub it on the skin. It helps with the healing process, and also it is a part of spiritual thing. And when you remove the bark, the next thing is to heat it up. So the bark has been heated there, and when you heat it, it's easy to mold. And also when you heat it, then the oil from the bark comes and seals the layer, and then it becomes, it creates a waterproof layer, and then it is burnt, so we can use it on, as a canoe. But it is an experimental one. We took the bark from a mango tree. Generally, mango tree was not an appropriate one, but that's an experimental. But in indigenous Australian culture, they take bark from eucalypt or stingy bark, which is easy to mold and easy for making it as a canoe and on a practical purpose too. Yes. So this is a finished canoe. You can see this was made, this is an experimental finished canoe in Pallakemundi. And so when, after rubbing the mud or dirt on the skin of the tree, what they do, they means here indigenous Australians, they always do carving on the tree, on the skin. That's their practice. But in this instance, we thought, as the tree is, the owner of the tree is Mr. Srinivas Gamango, and he is a painter. So we did a painting on that. Yeah. Look at his smile, he's smiling, happy. Yeah. Next slide, please. And in this dye workshop, Narvik Professor Caroline Briggs AM, Bunurang elder. Bunurang is what we call Melbourne, so she is the elder of that community, and she is demonstrating using different natural dyes, how we can use that as a fabric paint or a different media paint, like a painting. So she demonstrated the whole process, and you can see we had some discussions, and the die has been prepared here, and that's the outcome. Yep. And here, as a part of cross-cultural exchange, here Karniel Raita is making kendra. Kendra means a musical instrument. And Juno, that's Srinivas's wife, Subhasini Gamango, she is making a broom, which is called Juno. And Sindhu Raita is making a benda. Benda is fish trap. Yeah. And here comes my best part. As I told you, yes, I'm a choreographer, and you see the Langia Saura people from his village are dancing, and as a part of this project, we have a performance, and the performance comes in 3 parts. One is the first part is performance by Juri Orangery people, and then Langia Saura people, and there will be a hybrid performance at the end by bringing 2 different cultures together, and we will be choreographing for that. Yes. And here we had a workshop where Brian was showing us how he makes the big size drawing, which is like 210 centimeters to 150 centimeters, how he uses 30 panels to make one drawing. The same canoe, we made it here in Otways, in Gurbanar country last July, so this year, July. And that's the stringy bark, so that's the appropriate canoe tree. And yeah, the team is removing the bark from the tree here. Yes, you can see in the first picture how the bark popped off very easily because that's the appropriate tree. And here the team is taking the bark for next process. So yeah, that's Professor Brian Martin. And here we all rub the mud and dirt from the base of the tree just for the healing process. And then the bark was heated, you can see. And what we did, we collected all the inside of the bark to make a rope so that we can tie the ends of the bark after molding it, so that we can use the whole canoe is made up of, every part of the canoe is made up of the tree itself. So that's the finished bark, which will be exhibited in our next year exhibition. So in the workshop 2, which we conducted in July this year, Srinivas was there in Australia, and we did a printmaking workshop, because it's a completely new, process for him. He always does the editorial thing, so we thought we will have something new to learn. And we also did a lino cut print making. We did have some practice there. Yeah. And in the workshop 2, here you can see Mr. Srinivas Gamango was making the the kendra, the musical instrument. And this is a finished benda, the fish trap. And here Brian and I were assisting him. Yeah. And this is the team. That's when we started. Before our project started, we literally manifested this project a year ago. So that's our team in Parlakemudi campus, and that our team in his village, Bailapadara, and this is our team cooking together the indigenous food in Parlakemudi itself. That's all. Santabin, Dhanyabad, thank you, Bugalwan, and Marava. Thank you.